All right, so I've been having a problem lately, and I've been spending a good amount of time on Facebook Marketplace looking for things, but we got a good score this time. We finally were able to score some porta huts, which are for pasture raising pigs. Every time I find these on Facebook Marketplace, they go so fast. We were able to go for a ride yesterday. It was a rainy day, and we picked up 2. It looks like there's only 1, but there is 2 under there. Minor damage. This one's got a little bit of a bend down, the other one's got the same, and then one of them had a tree fall on it, but none of them leak, so we are excited. In our area, you can't find them new, and nobody seems to ship them, so we picked them up used, and I paid less for these than what it would cost me to build something that wouldn't stand up as good as these ones are. They're all solid metal. Somehow they're able to round over angle iron, and they cover it with corrugated tin. I've seen a lot of pasture pigs out on these things, and they seem to do really well, and I know Gina loves the looks of them.
Yeah, every time I see these in the field somewhere when we're driving by, I'm always like, oh, I want some of those for our pigs, and he's like, probably not, but he's been looking and he finally found some, and I am excited to see them out being used eventually when we get our pigs, so this will be good. Maybe we can find some more so we can have like a whole city of them.
We'll keep our eyes out. Our trailer plug broke. The ground off did, because the old plug was square, so you'd always have to wiggle it, so it broke the tab off. Well, I found that they make one with a hole in it, so you can put your finger in and just pull it out straight. So I thought that was pretty slick, and it's got indicator lights, so you can test to see if your trailer brakes and directionals are working. So I don't know, I thought that was kind of cool, but you can just go, instead of having to wiggle it and then you break all the prongs off. So no, we don't have any pigs to go into the porta huts, but we have a deposit already down on them. So we're just waiting till they get old enough, and then we can go pick them up. And we'll have houses for them when they're ready to go out on pasture. Usually I use IBC totes, which work really well for when they're piglets, but when they're full grown, they don't fit in there that well.
And we're not just getting a couple of feeder pigs, we're gonna get some breeder pigs. So we're hoping next year we'll have some piglets and all the things. So if all goes well, we're gonna have our own pigs here on the farm.
All right, so we're gonna be working on building some chicken tractors. We have to run out and get the supplies to build those, but first we're gonna stick some raw milk into the freeze dryer and get some milk freeze dried.
I did pre-freeze this milk, so obviously we can't just carry milk down in trays like that. So they were frozen. I put them in the freezer. Now we're going to stick them in the freeze dryer, and then we should be able to have some powdered milk. So that way when we're out of milk, we'll have some. And I know that the texture is not going to be exactly the same bringing it back, but it will work for baking and things like that. And we have some other things we want to try out with it, so we're going to give this a try.
So I already closed the drain valve. It is freezing, so we're gonna let it do its thing, and we can walk away, come back in the morning, and it should be done.
So we got our eggs done. That worked out great. Now we got the milk in the freeze dryer. We'll see how that turns out. And then we had a lot of great suggestions from you guys. Different things, like I never thought of freeze drying cantaloupe. I guess it's even better than when it's fresh.
All right, we gotta go in and get a few different things. We're gonna be walking all over the store, I think, from one end to the other. We gotta go to the garden center. We're gonna go to hardware. I think the main part of lumber we're gonna need, it sounds like it's gonna be over here undercover, so that should be easy to get. It's just everything else is all over the place. Last two. Just the right amount.
Making a mess.
It's easy. So back when we first started building these chicken tractors, you could build them for about 20 bucks. If you could buy all the products on sale, they were 20 bucks to build. I'm gonna have to add up the receipt and see how much these are gonna cost. I'm gonna say they probably tripled in price from what it used to cost.
So the key word was on sale. $20 getting everything on sale, so it was probably about $40-ish.
Yeah, it was like 30, 40 bucks if they weren't on sale.
So I'm pretty sure it costs way more than that. Still worth it?
Still worth it. So the other chicken tractors are pretty much almost rotted out, so we had to replace them. We've had them for quite a while. So we went to Lowe's and we went to Home Depot, but we went to Lowe's 2 different times because the picket fences are in the garden area. So we bought those. They had a cashier out there, pushed them out to the truck, loaded them in, and then everything else was on the other side of Lowe's. So instead of having to push full carts around, we made 2 trips. And then Home Depot had the 3-foot tall rolls that are 25 feet long. Lowe's did not. This is going to be to build 4 tractors. So 135.90 plus 291.92 plus 116.30 equals 544 divided by 4 equals, so right now we're into $136 per tractor, and that does not include roofing. Back in the day, we used to get a tarp, so I'd say a tarp was probably 10 bucks-ish. This year, we're gonna change it up maybe, we're gonna get them built, and then I have an idea for covering. You don't cover all of it, but I'm gonna try something new this year, but I wanna get them built to figure out exactly how much we need. So right now, it's 136 bucks per chicken tractor. So that's over 3 times as much as what it used to cost. So I bet you we're gonna have close to the same price into building one of these chicken tractors as we have into one of those used pig huts, which is crazy. Now we gotta unload.
What were you doing? And none of that stuff was on sale?
None of this was on sale, nope. We do picket fence, because this is like the cheapest lumber. This is like $2 or $3. You used to be able to get these for like $1 a piece when they were on sale. And this time of the year, they used to put the picket fence stuff on sale. And then we get deck spindles. Those were $2, I think, a piece. And those you used to be able to get for like 99 cents. So a lot of the stuff was like $1 every time for each piece. And then the big thing that was the most expensive, and if you could find it on sale, was a big savings, is the hardware cloth.
So not only, I mean, you're trying to build these, but you're trying to build them light because you're trying to move them. I mean, you are moving them every day on pasture, so trying to keep them light and mobile and usable. So you kind of have that you have to keep in mind too. And we really like doing it this way that we have continued to do it throughout the years. It works the best for us, and It's easier to store them away, I think, at the end of the year when you're done with them.
We try to build these with the cheapest lumber and the lightest lumber we can. These are 5/8 of an inch thick, and it works out really slick. The other chicken tractors, I'll have to go back to see when we built them. I feel like it was 2017, 2018, and I had to repair 1 or 2 bottom pieces, like the runner that sits flat on the bottom. But other than that, they've held together. At the end of the season last year, they were getting pretty rough, so that's why I'm like, we need to build new ones. But they last for quite a few years.
I thought we did some in between that time.
We added it. We built one more.
Okay.
We had 2, and then we built the 3rd one. The only other thing we've had to do to them is replace the tarps. The tarps will only last like 2 seasons, so that's why I want to try something different this year. Okay, that should be everything we need to make the main structures. Oh, I got the screws and the hinges in the back. We used to have the plans to build these chicken tractors on our website. When we redid our website, it got lost. So if you guys want the plans for this, let us know and we will remake them. And I've also kind of changed up a few things to make them a little bit sturdier, and just a few things that I have kind of adapted along the way that I like to do to them now. So if you want that, let us know, and we'll try to get new plans made up. So that way you guys can build these too. These are the cheapest chicken tractors that I've ever known to build. and they've lasted us plenty of time. All right, I want to go ahead and cut all of my spindles down to length, and that way we can just knock everything out and be done with everything at the same time. They're longer than what we need, but we'll end up using the offcuts later on in the project. All right, those are all cut, so we don't got to worry about. I don't bother cutting off the dog ear ends. They're called dog ear fence post. One down. We got to do 8 of these total. All right, I'm gonna build 3 more sets just like this, and then I'll be back. Now we have all of our main side structures put together. Now we gotta put the rest of this structure together to make our box. So let me get these set up on the ground, and then we're gonna need 4 more slats per each coop we're building. All right, this stage is definitely easier if you have 2 people. I got a piece of cardboard. It's heavy duty cardboard though. Maybe that'll work. All right, that is 1 down. So let me do 3 more and then I'll be back. I feel like I got a chicken tractor factory going on in here. We got our 4 boxes made. I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna do a little bit more cutting on our leftover spindle parts and pieces. I got the 42-inch long spindles, so I cut the cutoffs. Now I'm gonna go ahead and I can cut these in half. And then instead of having 16, we'll have 32. And that should be enough for everything we're gonna need to finish these all up. I gotta put a bottom piece on, and that'll help it glide, and it helps hold it together. And then I put in some corner braces on the front corners, and that helps strengthen it up, and it also gives me a place to put my feeder and my waterers, so that way it has something to sit on, and then it just kind of gives it more strength. So let's get that part done. Just snapping a chalk line where the back upright like this goes, and then I'm going to staple it all the way across there. Now I just need to do that 3 more times, and then I'll be back. It is the next morning. It is a beautiful morning. That sun is already out. It's in the 40s, it's supposed to be in the 60s, full sun. So I think our grass is really gonna start growing today with a little bit of heat, and I can't wait. The quicker this grass grows, the quicker we can get the cows out on pasture, and cows love being out on fresh pasture. This area is not bad, but it's not good pasture yet. It will be. So it'll be nice to get them on good grass once it starts growing. And I can't wait to get the Highland cattle out on good grass and see how they like it. Because we've never had them out in good pasture. They've always been in the turnout here so far, so it's gonna be interesting. We have had a great few days to be using the freeze dryer on our solar power because it is just coming in. So we did our milk and I just went and got it out and it's all nice and good. So I'm going to stick it in the bowl, get it all crunched up, you know, so it's all in the little flakes, and then I'm gonna bag it up
So I would use it for baking. Maybe I'll try it out for drinking. I had 4 trays of milk, about 4 cups of milk on each tray, and I have 4 bags of dried powder milk in here, and I ended up just doing 4 bags because I had 4 of the absorbers that were left over that I didn't have to open up a whole new thing of them and then reseal them. So I just decided to combine them, and then I can just use this as I go, and when we have savings of milk for when we don't have any milk, for cooking and stuff. I have 1 cup of water and then 1/3 cup of the powdered milk, and I'm just gonna combine it in here and see if it ends up being what the texture is, if it looks like milk. Of course, when you do get it rehydrating, it does take a few minutes to get absorbed back in there. Okay, I'm gonna just let it set here for a few minutes and then let's see what happens. All right, so I just dumped it into a mason jar, put a lid on, and just did this. It seemed to mix better. Just doing it with a fork, it just seemed like it could be a little bit chunky. And if I'm gonna try and taste this, I don't want any kind of chunks. So opening it up, it looks like it's well mixed. Give you a true test, it needs to be cold. So I'm gonna go ahead, pop this in the fridge, and I'll check back with you later and let you know what I think.
All right, so we have all 4 of the main bases put together. I got the bottom board, which makes them glide easy. So these all 4 are upside down. So let me flip this one over, and we're gonna start doing the corner braces on the bottom. They're a brace, and they're also a shelf for the feeder and waterer. So the diagonal braces on the bottom will help make it so it doesn't do this as much. And then once we get the top on, we'll have a center support, and that'll strengthen that up and take out a lot of the wobble out. They're short enough, so you really don't need a diagonal going this way to brace the sides. So that back foot kind of acts like a ski. So when you pick up the front, it glides, and that backboard, like this, if this was just on the ground, you were trying to slide, it would dig in. Having that like a ski, it just makes it glide a lot easier. All right, that works perfect for a 5-gallon bucket. That's cut at 27 inches long point to long point. Bam. All right, so I need to make 2 of these per tractor. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut all the ones we need right now. So our leftover spindle pieces I cut down to 5 1/4 inches, and then down here we screwed one on 16.5 inches from the back end, from the end of this on each side. And then we can take part of our picket fence and do that. So we're using 1/2-inch hardware cloth. You can use chicken wire. Hardware cloth is a little bit more durable to predator attacks. We personally have never had predators try to get in to the chicken coop. If we ever had any issue, it's been a predator trying to dig under the coop and getting like the leg of a chicken or something, but we've never had anything try to eat through the chicken wire. We've used chicken wire in the past with no issues. The hardware cloth is just more durable, so we're gonna go with the hardware cloth this time. And I personally feel like it's a little bit easier to work with than the chicken wire, but chicken wire is less expensive.
Yeah, so the chicken tractor cost could be a little bit less if you use chicken wire, but like you said, it lays nicer and it's gonna lay flatter than when you use the chicken wire. Sometimes it can bow up, or, I mean, it's just easier to work with this stuff.
So when I was stapling on the back foot, I was using 1.5-inch long staples to staple on the wire. I'm gonna be using 1/2-inch staples because these boards are only 5/8 of an inch thick. If you use a longer staple, you have staples sticking out the back, and when you go to put your hand in there for any reason, you stab yourself. I know from experience.
Where were you?
All right, so I'm gonna start on the back side. This is a 25-foot roll of hardware cloth, so it's gonna get us back to here. So I want the seam in the back. All right, so we overlapped about 8 to 10 inches, and the rest of this I'm just gonna cut off because it's got a good crink to it. So it's gonna have a terrible memory, and it's not gonna wanna stay straight. Then I wanna cut a 2x4 to 71 1/4 inches. This is a piece I've added since our first design. I like having a 2x4 going this way for the door hinges to be on and for more strength, and it keeps the whole cage from doing that. I just feel like it gives it a lot more strength. Now I got some 1.5-inch long staples back in here. All right, so I got some of our cut-off spindles. I'm gonna put one right here, screw it in. Same with back here. And then this way we'll have a good frame to staple our cloth to and put our roof on. Gonna put some more cut off spindle pieces. This is a door stop, so when we shut the lid, it has something to land on the front. Set this one over here. I never did this on the original ones either. This is just going to strengthen up the door a little bit more. I'm going to go from the inside under.
Did you know it was going to be a dog tractor?
He was doing the same thing yesterday. All right, then I take this piece, set it on. I guess it could have went a little bit longer, but it doesn't match her. And I'm gonna flush it to the outside edge, so we'll have a place to staple our wire, but also it acts as a stop. So this is gonna hit this part, so we're not just having all of the pressure on the front here. All right, now that we have our back frame made and our door frame made, we're ready for wire mesh on the top now. Just wondering where you were. Okay, it's the last hinge. Let's see. Oh, that works so nicely. Go like that. I like it. Nice.
Well, I would just like to report, it looks like Al only used half a jug of glue for the project, or did you get a whole nother one? Because it looks like there's a whole one over here.
I got a whole one just in case we ran out, but I didn't use any more.
So he didn't even use half a jug, because that was not a new jug. So he did get a new jug, but he didn't get into that one or use up that full one. So
We got plenty of glue for our next projects.
if anybody was worried about if we had enough glue, we do still.
We do. I ended up cutting a little V-notch in my plastic tip, and that way it falls into the groove of one of these metals. Wire's a lot easier. Before it was a flat tip, it'd slide all over the place. So it's making it a lot easier.
Did you find something? You found a new toy?
You ready?
It's been in there for a couple hours. It's chilled. Let's try it. It's more like a 2% milk probably. It definitely not feel chunky or anything.
Yeah, it's like watered down. I'd say it just needs more milk powder. It's like skim milk right now, so it definitely probably could use double the amount of powder that you put in, I bet you. When my brother was up, he brought up a four-wheeler and left it. So if you guys see a little four-wheeler kicking around, that's where it's from. I didn't go buy it on Facebook Marketplace or anything. It's been a very long time since I've driven a four-wheeler. I used to have one way back when. Probably not that long ago. I'm trying to think. Probably like 2012 is when I got rid of it. So it's been a little while. Other than that, we've had side by side. So it's kind of fun. Just a little 300. I used to have a 375, and that's how we used to plow our first house in the winter. We had a plow on it. That's what we do all the plowing with. All right. A little off subject. Just thought I'd drive that down there and have some fun with it. We're going to continue working on building these chicken tractors. I think since the main part of this one is done, I am going to jump on getting the corner braces on these other three done. I gotta run out in a little bit, so let's see how much we can get done. We gotta flip these over first. You know what we haven't done in a long time? We haven't done an egg count for quite a while. So, we've been getting a lot of eggs lately. So let's see how many we get today. It's gonna be quite a few. 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. No, we don't eat all these eggs. We do freeze dry some of them, like you guys saw. We do freeze dry some abundance of our milk, but we give them to our friends and family and sell some. So that's what we do with all of them. The chickens, Brutus wants to come out. I'll be down in a bit, Brutus. But they are delicious. If you guys are looking to get yourself a freeze dryer, the freeze dryers are on sale. This is the biggest sale they do all year. It's up to $500 off on freeze dryers and accessories. I think that goes till May 21st. I'll link that down below if anybody's looking to get a freeze dryer. Check them out. But we got a lot of eggs we need to go put away. We're supposed to be getting a bunch of rain, and I want to get these porter huts off of the trailer before we get rain. I didn't unload them when we picked them up because it was a rainy day and I didn't feel like getting wet. So I got you a doghouse. Gotta lock the chickens up. We don't want anybody coming tonight and having a little snack, because they're our snack, not for anybody else to have. So this is where we're gonna end the video. Thanks for coming along on our homesteading journey. Look at that beautiful sunset. See you guys right back here in the next video. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, share, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.